What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? What is cracking? What is going on? My name is Thomas Thomas. Welcome to my channel. This is the Lukewarm Mess. If y'all don't know, you better get to know. Because we do some crazy stuff on this channel. Woo! How's everybody doing tonight, man? I hope everybody's in good spirits. Make sure to take care of your mental health first and foremost. And taking care of your physical self is the first part of taking care of your mental health. Um, every other day or so, I go live on my phone while I work out. So if you're rocking with me from that, I appreciate y'all. If y'all are just walking with me from my original content, much love. I don't know what we're going to do on today's episode, but it is what it is. Oh, man. Papa Joe, Columbus, Ohio. Mob ties. This dude must be from Columbus, Ohio, because I think I've seen another one of his with Ronald Dawson. Shout out to these old school cats, man. When we first moved here to Columbus, after my dad got out of the military, 670, if you're hit to Columbus and the inner city highway, 670 wasn't even finished. It stopped at Leonard Ave. Not only that, my mom used to go to what was called Doctors East back then, which is now OSU East. But back in the 90s, it was called Doctors East, which is in the Poindexter area, Mount Vernon area, Atchison Ave area. The two towers off the 670 exit by Leonard Ave, I used to call them the Titty Towers, Twin Towers, but Titty Towers because they got like little points on top, like little fucking tassels. And I was like 12 when we first moved here. And like I said, and then in the front, I think it's called Poindexter Projects, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. You could see from the freeway, you could see the playground. And that was the first time I've ever seen a fucked up playground. I mean, you could see that the slides weren't there. The little tunnels kids climb through, those were busted up. This, say the least, this playground was in really, really rough shape. Like, it was deserted. On a lot of those sides of those apartments, you had gang taggings, which was the X-Clan. X-Clan was a murder for hire gang ran by the big dog himself, Ronald Dawson. Man, my best friend, he's actually related to this man. And he's originally from California. My best friend is. And he said he would come out here in the 90s And being from California, well, San Francisco, it's more of a pimp town. It's known for um what was his name? Fillmore Slim. That's where my homie's from originally. Fillmore Projects. Like I said, he is related to Ronald Dawson on his mom's side. He said when he would come up here in the 90s as a kid, he would see some crazy, wild stuff. He hasn't really gone into detail, um, but I kind of know some of his stories growing up in Columbus myself. I used to do a lot of stuff growing up in Columbus I would never want my daughter to do, let alone even if I had a son. Um, I rode my bikes everywhere, all around town, Columbus, Ohio, from 90s, early 90s into, I think, so like 97. It might have been earlier than that, but especially in like 95 area, I was all around Columbus on my bike. I lived in Gahanna on the west side of Gahanna off of Agler Road. And I would ride my bike from Agler to Cassidy, back to Agler, all the way down that part of Agler to Westerville Road, where it stops again. Turn right there, right next to the Players Club. That's shut down. I seen some wild stuff riding my bike in that parking lot as a kid, riding my bike past. Whoa. I think that's why I started working at a strip club at a later age. From Westerville, I would turn onto Oakland Park and take Oakland Park all the way down. I had a really good friend. His mom lived on Oakland Park. Shout out to Mama Francis. We hung out there a lot as a kid. And when I say a lot, we hung out there quite a bit. Most of the time, she would pick us up in her big van. And at one point in time, she had a sweet station wagon that had the wood panels on the side. And the reason why I said it was sweet because that back seat in that station wagon was pimp. Man, you could just sit back there and smoke a cigarette, nobody would know. Smoke some weed, nobody would know. It's pretty slick, man. But that was kind of our base in our teens at one point in time as well. And because Ohio State campus is just a stone throws away from there. So we would ride our bike all up and down High Street. We're suburb kids hanging out in the inner city. Don't get me wrong. I've been all over the world before even moving to Columbus, Ohio. Like I said, this is where my parents last did their. I think my mom got stationed here. That's why we moved here. My dad got out. Something like that. But yeah, Columbus is really slept on. I'm telling you. You guys wouldn't even think of it coming from other states. I'm not saying Columbus, Ohio is one of the gangsterest places I've ever been. No. But I'm saying it's not a city or state to be slept on. I think Columbus gets slept on so much because Cleveland and Cincinnati take up most of the popularity because of the major sports teams. But Columbus, Ohio has some crazy history behind it. The more and more I deep, the crazier it gets. From a brothel house right across the street from Franklin County Courthouse. I'm sorry, I had to pick up. Should have grabbed something to drink before I came down here. To Abraham Lincoln's mistress being from, I believe, Franklinton, which is another part of Columbus, Ohio. It has 3 different hidden cemeteries from an old insane asylum. I've been to 2 of the 3 of those, and I got videos on my channel. If you guys want to go see those. One, I felt crazy energy off of. I wasn't even there that long, but I could feel the energy just take over me. That must have been the newest part. And I think it was, if I remember correctly. I think the last was like 1950, which is 75 years ago, I believe. If I remember correctly, if it was 1950. And it's just crazy. You could feel off of it. The other one, well, the energy you could feel off it was crazy. Like I said, I didn't stay on it very long at all. Not at all. It made me feel real weird. But it was dressed up like a regular cemetery. All the headstones in a row. On the outside, you had benches to sit on. It was very beautiful, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, intense. The second one I went to, it wasn't that bad, intense wise. But the way it was set up, it was pretty freaking weird. I've never seen a cemetery set up like this before. And if you go back to my videos, you will see what I'm talking about. In the middle, there was one big headstone. Then about, I want to say maybe 10 feet away from it, in a circle all the way around, was headstones. Some of those headstones had names and dates. Some of those dates went back to the 1700s. Some of them didn't even have names. They said unknown. But there was this one headstone. The one in the middle. Really weird. Because the headstone in the middle said specimens. Being an old insane asylum dating back to like 1790, I believe it was. To have a headstone in the middle that say specimens is quite strange, weird, and unusual. And then off to the side, you had Rose. I guess back in the day, that is how they had it normally. The cemetery, one in the middle and then a round circle. So I asked my dad, and usually fathers know everything. If not, they'll tell you something that you'll believe, right? Columbus has some haunted places, just like a lot of Ohio. And it doesn't have to be Halloween for you to experience the evil spirits. Man, and I say that to say this. If you're from Columbus, Ohio, you've more than likely you've heard the story of Walhalla Ravine. If you haven't, it's quite strange and peculiar. Peculiar. It's about an old Ohio State professor coming home from work one day at Ohio State. For some reason, he snapped. Killed his dog, his kids, chopped off his head of his wife, kicked it down the stairs to the road of Walhalla Ravine, and hung himself on Walhalla Bridge. If you don't believe me about the story, you can look it up. I've took my daughter there. She likes haunted, spooky stuff. She had fun, and we experienced a strange and peculiar thing. I still had that live feed off Facebook. I would be posting it on here. So there was a special needs kid as we're walking towards this house that I was talking about. And it was like right before, right before. This kid comes walking out of the woods with his dog. His dog's barking, which is understandable because a dog sees a stranger. Kind of aggressively, but it's understandable because dogs are protectors to their owners. But when this boy came out of the woods, and when I say boy, he was at least a teenager of some sort, like 16 and up. And when I say special needs, he was still functioning. He could still speak. He comes out of the woods. Like I said, you want to fight? You ready to fight? You ready to fight? Me already knowing about Valhalla Ravine, I didn't think it's strange and peculiar whatsoever. Daughter did. Understandable. It's first time seeing something strange and unusual. He says a couple other weird things and eventually wanders off as we walk closer to this house. Kelsey and I start walking up the stairs because Kelsey wants to go. We get up there and I see a flag I'm not familiar with hanging in the window. So I see a flag I'm not familiar with, and I didn't think anybody lived there to begin with. So I was like, Kels, we might as well just turn around and go back. As we go back, she already knew the story about why we were there to begin with. But when we were coming back, I'm telling her the story about what I experienced when I was a kid. That was one of our places we liked to drive around when we was a kid on campus. We would drive damn near in circles around that for hours and hours. One day, we decided to get the nuts up and go walk up the hill. Granted, there's 3 cars, and I would say there was at least 10 of us. There was like me and my homie Donnie in one car. He drove an 88 Caprice Classic, big body. Most of the time, they were taxi cabs back in the day. Russell had a full car, so he had like 5 people. And I think my homie Budget was there too, if I remember correctly. And he had a few people. Or it was Seth. One of the two. We had 3 cars and about 10 people. So we all go up there. We hear a crazy sound. We look back, see a green light. We get spooked. We all run down the freaking hill. The other 2 cars was able to start up and leave. I'm in the car with Donnie, 1988 Caprice Classic. The car won't start. Are you freaking kidding me? So we're trying frantically. After a few times of trying, and we're still freaking out. Granted, yes, our adrenaline is pumping. We pushed this car. I don't remember pushing it that far. I would say 20 to 50 yards, maybe, and jumped in. That was the only time we pushed the car too. From that house to High Street is quite a ways. And when you pop up High Street, since it's in a ravine, when you pop up, you got to come up a hill. Tell me why, when we stopped up on top of this hill, our tires screeched like we were going 20 miles an hour and hit the brakes dead stop. Like I said, our adrenaline was pumping because we was scared out of our fucking mind. But I don't honestly think there was some evil spirit pushing us far and fast. Columbus and Ohio in general has a lot of haunted history. It is crazy. Even as I'm telling this story, I'm having fucking like vibration goosebumps. It's sickening. Man, I need to burn some sage. Definitely need to burn some sage. So, enough of that evil haunted shit. I don't even know why I told that story. I just thought that was a good story and I figured I'd share it with y'all. I'm going to share something personal today that happened to me. Called my best friend. No, my best friend called me. Had me come over and he's like, hey, before you come over, will you stop and get da 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 da? Cool. Got you, dude. I do those for those because I wish people would do the same for me. And this guy has shown me that he's not only there for me, he invests in me. That's a true feeling of loyalty, I feel. I've never had anybody be so real from the jump with me and kept it 100 with me for years. Shout out to you, man. You know who you are. But as I'm in the grocery store, a blast from the past hits me. I often feel like I'm not remembered. Not that I've done anything like heroic or whatever. I was a rapper. I mean, MC, whatever you want to call it, at one point in time, but I didn't do nothing big. I did open up for a pretty big name, a couple pretty big names here in Columbus. Granted, they might not remember me or know who I am, but that's not why. I was recognized from an old friend back from 2009. We weren't the closest friends, but we connected really well. Yes. The love of weed and the love of good weed and good music will do it to you. Me and this gentleman bonded really well. Granted, it was fucking 16 years ago. Shit. I don't think I would have recognized him. Not at all. Dude is a hell of a vocalist. He's got some fucking lungs you cannot goddamn believe. He will make a grown man fucking cry just listening to him, and that's not why I'm crying right now. I'll get into that here in a second. I don't know about on here, but I've said on other social media platforms that I feel like I've forgotten about. I'm lost, like a lost cause type thing. When a dude that's locally famous in Columbus and has sang on every single major stage here, not only remembers you by name, by face after you've aged 16 years. The only reason why you lost contact with this person to begin with was because your ex left you and she still followed that band. I must have made an impact on this guy so much that he kept following me. He kept remembering me. 16 years ago, I was in a relationship with my high school sweetheart from high school. That don't seem like that long ago. And to some of you, it's really not. My high school sweetheart came down with multiple sclerosis. And me, as a high school dropout who is afraid of needles, had to apply her muscular interverticular shots. I believe that's what they're called. I'm deathly afraid of needles. My dog that ran away in the Philippines bit me. Since we didn't have any rabies records, and the dog ran away. In the Philippines, those motherfuckers eat them. That's not the first time we had a dog run away. I had to have rabies treatment at the age of, I think it was under 4. 4 doctors, 8 nurses trying to hold me down. Filipino nurses, doctors, so they're smaller. I was a little tank. I still am. You know what I mean? I'm 5'10", 270, kind of chunky. Me, oh my. They were trying to hold me down, trying to give me 7 shots. That's how deathly afraid of shots I am. My daughter takes shots better than I do. So back to my high school sweetheart. I had to give her shots. Me and her, we did a lot of things together. She was also my best friend. But I feel like she did some dirty shit behind my back as well. That's another story for another day. At the end of our relationship, we followed this band, the Floorwalkers. They're very known in Columbus, Ohio. I used to be really good friends with the lead singer. After 16 years, running into him, he remembered me. That only made my fucking day. Put me in a way better mood. We couldn't talk much. He had to run to a studio real quick and hell of a vocalist. Hell of a fucking vocalist. But he messaged me on Facebook with his number. And texted him. Well, we'll rewind it back. Go back to our little bit of a conversation. Man, he comes out of the liquor store of all fucking places. Stands there looking at me like that. I didn't recognize him at first. It's been 16 fucking years. When I finally recognized him, I yelled out, brother, and give him a big fucking hug. He said, how you doing, man? Hanging in there. I don't know why. Start crying. Just like I am now. Hanging in there, bud. You sure? Trying to. Got a 12-year-old daughter and I'm a single father. He introduced me to his wife too. Sweetheart. Just makes me feel good because I've done so much good for people out there in this world. And they act like they don't know me. My good has outweighed my bad in any situation. But for some reason, I must be like a motherfucking produce item. Once my expiration date is up, it is fucking up with everything. I've been taken advantage of a lot in this fucking life. It's crazy. By people I love the fucking most. And every time I step up for myself, I defend myself, I'm the fucking bad guy to the other people. Granted, I do hold some things in. Granted, like grudges, but I don't consider them grudges. I call them like little tally marks. Okay, wrongdoing, wrongdoing, wrongdoing. And it's like, how many tally marks do I have to add up? Oh, no, it's fine. Oh, okay. But deep down inside, it's fucking hurting me. I try to be the better person. I fucking really do. But when those tally marks keep adding up, like, you ever had a conversation with somebody and you're being genuine towards them, a genuine good person towards them, and they want to slip little daggers in, and you act like you don't hear them, but deep down inside, you really do. And it's not like they do it every fucking time. It's just like every so often, boom, and then they'll say something, and then boom. I was having a conversation with another father. I'm not going to say the person's name. But I was telling this person how I had to represent myself as an attorney for my child. I didn't have to tell this person, he already knew. I figured from a father to father, you would respect that you would do anything for your child, even when you're down, dead, broke, with nobody in your corner. If any father can't respect that, you ain't a motherfucking man in my eyes. this father I was talking to, once I told him, he said, most of the time, well, they say somebody that represents himself in the court is a fool. You low life, low level, over opinionated, Trump supporting fool. Don't be an asshole to me, because I can be a bigger asshole to you. Especially if we've had history in the past. Because his story, meaning my story, might be misery, but it's still his story. You feel me? Shit. Have you ever asked for help for somebody and they not only how do I put this? Let me have you ever asked for help and they just went through the motions and whatever help they gave you, they benefited in the long run when they could have helped a lot more and it could have benefited them a lot more in the long run? That's the story of my motherfucking life. I don't have people here in Columbus, Ohio that are families. It's all about who you know and who you blow in this fucking town. People forget me till today. Till to motherfucking day. But I'm serious. It's about who you know and who you blow in this motherfucking town. Columbus, Ohio. And I say that because I worked for a major corporation. And when I say a major corporation, I mean it's the top online company in its niche. I worked for this company. It was originally based out of China but since there was a home office here in California and a guy here in Ohio who is friends with the owner of this company, he gets a general manager job to begin with to start up a big major facility here in Columbus, Ohio. And yes, China based. So I started for this China based company in April of 2022. I feel like the only reason why I got a job at this China based company was because I had a friend that just got hired on. This friend that just got hired on, that got me hired on as well, was friends with most of these people at a different facility here in Columbus, Ohio. That same facility did the same manufacturing of the product I am talking about. Well, this product, I've been in the same industry as well for about 20 years. I've never worked for any of these guys, even though this career is a small career field. But after getting hired in, I remember one of the managers hiring me at a facility years prior. Never hired me because he said he hired through a temp agency, even though at that time I had 8 years of experience. And a lady I worked with a lady who was daughters to the supervisor there. But this guy I'm talking about was a manager there. He was also a manager at this facility in April 2022 when I started. Like I said, didn't remember who he was until after some current current events that will happen that I will discuss. Like I said, I only got the job because of a referral from a friend, I feel. Well, this friend got treated like shit. And when I mean she got treated like shit, she got stressed out so bad, even though she worked for this industry for the same amount, 20 years, as I have. She got so stressed out because of the supervisor was stressing her out so bad that she would melt products. She got so stressed out, she broke a lot. Broke so much, they ended up firing her for it, even though she's done the same thing for 20 years prior. A lot of people can't work under stress. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. It depends how overwhelming of a feeling it is. You know, and then I get hired in. As I'm seeing her struggle, I'm being a superstar. I'm shining like a motherfucking star. So I don't understand, but my work ethic is different, you know. Not only that, I was trained by totally different people than she was. So maybe that's the difference. I don't know. God rest the soul of Ron Smith. I miss you, buddy. That was the only supervisor I ever had that used to call and check on me on a regular after I lost my job working with him. Call, text, Facebook messages. He was a single father too. But he had custody of his child. And his daughter's older than me. And she still grieves over this man, which I understand. Great guy. He was like an optical guru. Between what he taught me and all the other old school people taught me who learned on glass lenses. I didn't learn, but I have known people that work with him very well. So when I got into this company, it was like, boom, they treated me like gold, even though I seen my friend get treated like shit. Felt bad for her. I still kind of do. Goofy lady, southern accent. Man, you could joke around with her, no fucking problem about anything. She didn't give two shits. She would crack right back at you with her southern accent. It was fucking hilarious. And I worked with her when I was like 18. So, you know what I mean? Like, she was kind of like a second mom to me. So shortly after she got fired, I kind of started moving up the ranks. I got hired in as a tech 2, moved up tech 3, and took me that December. I finally got a tech 3. I didn't get the raise right away because of something, but they're supposed to got back. Whatever. Shortly after that, I worked up to lead. Did everything these fuckers said and more. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. As I was lead, my lead that was over me got promoted to supervisor. The supervisor who just got promoted worked with the management for many years. All the leadership worked with everybody for many years. At least 10. At the very least 10 years, they've all worked with one another. When I get promoted, well, all right, I put in for a different lead position to begin with, and the HR lady completely talks me out of it. It's weirdest fucking interview I've ever had. Like, weirdest. She's telling me I'm a superstar and finish, but I wanted to move elsewhere. And then when I finally get promoted, the director said he was going to promote me elsewhere anyway. Whatever. But back to my promotion, I finally get promoted working up the chain of command, right? Shout out to Jared, but this dude gets hired in from the street. For $2 more on the hour. $2 more on that. I wouldn't have known that if, see, like I said, I went for a different lead position first. I went for Jared's position. All right. Because Jared's supervisor at that time begged and pleaded me to go for this position. And I still wish I would have. Because I wouldn't have went through any of the trouble I did. I don't think. Shout out to Brock, man. Brock was fucking awesome. He was kind of a fucking dumb. He kind of reminded me of like Ludo. If that makes sense. He was cool as shit. I wish I would have worked for him instead of moving up the chain of command, but it seemed like they needed me so much out there, and the HR ladies telling me I'm a superstar, so it kind of boosted my ego to go up for the lead position. Like I said, all the leadership, supervisor up, has worked with each other for at least 10 years, some more than that. Some have been best friends, some have dated or currently dating. You think once I work up to a lead position in a company, they would train me, right? Oh, fuck no. No, they didn't. And the dumbass fucking production manager that said the lady that trained me was a supervisor, yes. And she would come in, yes. But she was dating another manager. And rumor has had it that she got fired from another facility. In the bathroom with another associate. It's quite strange. Not only was a supervisor and a manager dating, a lead was dating one of his workers. And the director got his girlfriend a customer service manager's job because he handpicked his leadership people for the right positions he felt correct. Also hiring an engineer without an engineer degree. Man, oh man. Like I said, this is a $1 billion corporation based out of China that runs here in Columbus, Ohio. So about my second year, I think it was my second year in to this company. For some reason, I had to pay taxes. I went to the HR and the director and I told him, I said, I'm not no 1099 associate. I should not have to pay taxes for your company. I'm not saying I'm not saying I should have got fucking a hell of money back. I should have at least broke even when I did my taxes. I was a W-2 associate having to pay taxes for $1 billion corporation based out of China that was washed up with money here in California and Columbus, Ohio. Some of my followers out there might even know what company I'm talking about because they might have worked with me or still working with this company. I lost a YouTube channel working with this company. I don't know how my work email that I got from that company was intertwined with this YouTube channel, but it was. I lost 2 emails to this fucking company and 2 YouTube channels. I don't know how I lost the other one. I think my daughter did something, honestly. Like, might not be my daughter, it might be her side of the family. Because her grandfather, her side of the family, person that passed used to work for IBM. So this is my 3rd YouTube channel. If you guys like what you see, make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe button. Not only that, hit that notification bell so you get every time I drop, when I drop, wherever I drop. My name is Thomas Thomas. This is the Lukewarm Mess. God bless. Love y'all. Till next time, y'all.